Good morning, good morning, good morning. Grand rising, grand rising, grand rising. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. This is the pre-show mantra. We'll get into the show momentarily. I deserve to be healthy. I deserve to be happy. I deserve to be rich. I deserve to be wealthy. I deserve to be free. The more you learn, the more you earn. Thereby, the more you earn, the more you learn. The stock market is a machine, and I am more than capable of operating this machine. Let's get into it, y'all. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you're tuning in from around the globe. Welcome to the $1 Trillion Tickers podcast, and welcome to the $1 Trillion Tickers broadcast, and welcome to the $1 Trillion Tickers family. This is a live market breakdown covering the $1 trillion stocks, SPX, the NASDAQ 100, SPY, and QQQ. We're covering pre-market levels, opening bell moves, headlines that move the market or are associated with our $1 trillion stocks. We'll be looking at charts, checking on Bitcoin and Ethereum levels, checking out the sectors, and some motivation along the way. Quick disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. This is for education and entertainment only. Always do your own research, but you can use this show as a foundation. Let's get into it, y'all. You know how we like to start the show is with our $1 trillion market caps. The leader of the stock market is NVIDIA, $4.5 trillion market cap, followed by Google, $4 trillion market cap. Salute to Google for hitting $4 trillion, y'all. Followed by Apple, $3.8 trillion, Microsoft, $3.4 trillion, Amazon, $2.5 trillion, TSM, $1.7 trillion, AVGO, $1.68 trillion, Meta, $1.59 trillion, Tesla, $1.48 trillion, and Berkshire.B, $1 trillion, y'all. All right, let's get into these pre-market levels. NVIDIA pre-market low, 184.02. Pre-market high, 185.61. Apple pre-market low, 259.25. Pre-market high, 260.84. Google pre-market low, 333.80. Pre-market high, 337.93. Microsoft pre-market low, 466.49. Pre-market high, 469.51. Amazon pre-market low, 240.20. Pre-market high, 242.82. TSM pre-market low, 327.85. Pre-market high, 331. AVGO pre-market low, 349. Pre-market high, 354.60. Meta pre-market low, 625.37. Pre-market high, 630. Tesla pre-market low, 443.21. Pre-market high, 446.99. Berkshire.B pre-market low, 494.14. Pre-market high, 495.15. The VIX is elevated, y'all. The VIX is running. The VIX, yesterday it was in the 15 range. The VIX is over 17, y'all. We got a lot more volatility in this market today. The VIX is sitting at 1720 right now. SPY pre-market low 690.23, pre-market high 693.18. QQQ pre-market low 621.63, 621.36, pre-market high 625.61. SPX pre-market low 6,926, pre-market high 6,956. The NAS 100 pre-market low 25,537, pre-market high 25,713. All right, let's get into some news. This first piece of news comes from Benzinga, brought to you by the late great Charlie Munger. If building wealth feels impossible, you're not alone, especially when you're just getting started. The key to getting rich isn't chasing millions or betting big on the next hot stock. It starts with a single stubborn goal. Get your hands on 100,000. I don't care what you have to do. If it means walking everywhere or not eating anything that wasn't purchased with a coupon, just find your way to get your hands on 100 G's, y'all. He admitted that it's a brutal milestone. The first 100 G's is very difficult to get, but you got to get it. To be clear, Munger wasn't talking about letting it sit in a checking account. He meant invested, put to work, compounding over time. Once you cross that threshold, he argued, wealth starts to build on itself. You don't need to hustle harder. You just need to be consistent, stay invested, and let the math do the heavy lifting. It's also psychological. Many financial experts agree that 100,000 mark is not just the hardest financially, but mentally. It's the point where habits are formed, consistency gets tested, and lifestyle choices often have to be reconsidered. Hitting that first benchmark means cutting back, avoiding shortcuts, and often working harder for longer than what feels fair. And that's exactly why Munger emphasized it. Man, I gotta agree, y'all. That first 100 racks, man, it seemed like it took forever. But once you hit that first, man, everything gets easier after that, y'all. So get that first 100 and you'll be good. For real. Shout out to Charlie, man. Giving that game. Oh, we're getting close to market open, y'all. So we do have some earnings today, pre-market. They already came out. Wells Fargo, Citibank, Bank of America. I do have some data on that I will talk about later, but I'm just saying what companies that are important had earnings today. All right, market is about to open, y'all. Let's get it. Market open. Let's go. The market is open. 6:30 a.m. January 14th, 2026. The market is open. Let's get to the money. Let's check on these stocks. Ooh, our $1 trillion ticker's looking red, y'all. Everything looking red except Berkshire. Oh, goodness. Everything is looking red. Let's get into it. All right, let's go on a 1-minute chart so we can see the movement, y'all. All right, NVIDIA down over 1% right now at 183.85. We got the alerts going off. We had alert for Amgen. We had alert for Costco. All right, Apple is down over 0.5% at 259.47. Google is down over 0.5% at 333.88. Microsoft is down 0.75% at 467. Amazon is also down 0.75% at 240.70. TSM is down almost 1% at 328.43. AVGO is down over 1.5% at 349. Meta is down almost 1% at 626. Man, Meta is falling, y'all. Meta needs some help. Tesla is down almost 2% at 439.65. Berkshire.B, the only one of our trading dollar tickers that's actually green for today, is green just fractionally at 495.82. The VIX is up over 7%, y'all. The VIX is up to 1720, y'all. So a lot of pressure on that market. Look at this SPY candle, y'all. SPY is down over 0.5% at 690.26. QQQ is down almost 1% at 620.85. SPX broke the pre-market low. It is now down almost 0.5% at 6,928. The NASDAQ 100 is down almost 1%. It also broke the pre-market lows to a 25,518, y'all. All right, this next piece of news comes from Earn Your Leisure. Let's check it out. Quick clip from Rashad.
So I like to do the 10, 20, 30 rule, where rule of thumb, you always want to buy low, sell high. You hear that a lot, right? But the reason that most people lose money in investing is that they buy high and sell low. Meaning that they'll look at like Dogecoin, right? And it runs up.
You're like, it's doing well, I gotta get it.
Yeah, and so what we call FOMO, fear of missing out. Yeah. So at the peak of it, they put all of their money in, and then it crashes. And then what happens is that instead of saying, okay, let me just wait because it's gonna get back up, psychologically you're like, I don't want to lose all my money, so I'd rather lose 50% of my money in 100. So then you sell it at 50% loss. So the only way to avoid that is not buy at an all-time high. So 10, 20, 30 is that, like, let's say a stock is $1,000, that's the all-time high. So 10% off is a decent price to buy at. Like $900 is a decent price to buy at.
And you can put it on your watch list and see when it does.
Exactly. 20% is a really good price to buy at. And then 30% off would be a great price to buy at.
Good game right there from Rashad, y'all. Good game right there. All right. Next piece of news comes from Yahoo Finance. Microsoft says it won't drive up its electricity costs near its data centers. Microsoft said five ways it will offset the cost of its data centers: pay the utility rates that cover its electricity costs, replenish the water used and then some, invest in creating local jobs, won't ask local governments to lower property taxes, and provide training for local schools and nonprofits. Because you remember yesterday how when we had Trump saying that these companies are going to pay for all the electricity that they're using, that with the data centers, that the American people shouldn't have to pay since we are not the ones who are using all the electricity, because we are not these companies who own these data centers. And I salute to Trump for saying that. And Microsoft is prepared to pay. So that's what's up. This next clip comes from Trump from yesterday, y'all. He talking about the markets. Check it out.
Today, if you announce great numbers, they raise interest rates to try and kill it. So you can never really have the kind of rally you should have. What happens and what we want, we're going to have a lot of great months, a lot of great quarters. I want the market to go up. You announce unbelievable numbers and the market goes down because they know you're going to do everything possible. In the Fed, we have a real stiff in the Fed, but that's for another day. But they raise rates. So everyone says, oh, they announced great numbers. It's great, great, great. And the market goes down because they immediately raise rates. No. When the market goes up, they should lower rates. You want to see 20% and 25%? You want to see what we can do? We've got to go back to an old standard. When there's good news, the market should go up, not go down. Does that make sense to everybody? And that's the way it used to be for most of the time. That's the way you make a country great.
Yes. I love it when my president is concerned about what's going on in the stock market, because I'm definitely invested. That's where the majority of my net worth is at. So When a president is concerned about the markets doing well, that means that the markets will do well. That's what I think, especially somebody like Trump. So make sure to be invested, y'all. Okay, this next piece of news, well, it's just a 1 minute clip. It says the end of the forklift. These are Felix Unix by Felix, a Munchen-based German robotics startup. They're autonomous mobile robots that slide underneath pallets, lift up to 1 ton, and move omnidirectionally with lights for navigation. So basically, this robotics startup is about to take warehouse jobs, y'all. Because if you're looking on YouTube right now, I have a video, and it's crazy, man. It's like, you know how you got the regular forklift, you got the wheels, you know what I mean, and the little metal part that's connected to the wheels. That's it. There's nothing besides that. It's just some 2 little things connected to the wheels, y'all. And man, that is about to take so many jobs. There's so many people that work in warehouses. And yeah, this is AI taking jobs, y'all. So we gotta be prepared. Because it's coming, man. Dang. Alright. This next piece of news, well, this is not news, this is just some motivation from Bitcoin TJ. He said, if you cut alcohol and weed, you can probably find $300 to $500 a month to invest in the market. A lot of people are smoking their retirement away, literally. Man, I remember when I used to partake in the trees, man. I was definitely spending a lot of money on that. I'm glad I quit and I put my money into the market, because talk about burn a hole in your pocket. Yeah, I remember them days, man. I remember them days. All right, this next piece of news comes from NVIDIA and Eli Lilly. They announced $1 billion joint investment over the next 5 years for an AI co-innovation lab in San Francisco, focusing on accelerating drug discovery for complex medical challenges like molecule therapies across therapeutic areas. The Eli Lilly CFO explains how AI augments human expertise to speed up research and development timelines and potentially lower costs, while highlighting the company's upcoming oral weight loss pill with Q2 of this year approval expected, showing a 24% average weight loss in the trials. So 2 of the biggest companies in the world are coming together with AI to help the medical industry. And we need it. AI is taking over all industries, y'all. All right, let's check on these numbers, y'all. Let's check on these numbers. Give me 1 second. Let me go to the individual chart, y'all. All right, NVIDIA's in the gap, y'all. It's been bouncing on the gap so far today. But NVIDIA is down almost 2%, y'all, at 182.47. Apple is down almost 1/4% at 260.50. Google is down 0.75% at 333.25. Microsoft is down almost 1% at 466. Amazon is down over 1% at 239.87. TSM is down over 1% at 327.63. AVGO is down almost 3%, y'all. AVGO is getting clapped. It's down to 345. Meta is down almost 1% at 624.88. Meta struggling too, y'all. Tesla is down 1.25% at 441.13. Berkshire.B, still the only $1 trillion ticker that is green. It is up almost 0.5% at 497.30. The VIX is up over 8% now to 1725. SPY is down almost 0.5% at 690.70. QQQ is down almost 1% at 621.11. SPX is down almost 0.5% at 6,931. And the NASDAQ 100 is down almost 1% at 25,500, y'all. All right, let's check out the sectors and see where the money is moving. What the heck? Oh, wrong button. I'm tripping. All right, let's check out the sectors, y'all. XLK, our technology sector, is down almost 1.25% at 144.77. XLY, you see that gap down overnight, is down almost 1% at 123.22. XLC is down fractionally at 116.69. XLF is down almost 0.5% at 54.03. XLV, our healthcare sector, is barely over break even at 156.73. XLP is moving. It's up almost 1%. That is our consumer staples ETF to 81.84. XLE is moving. It's up over 2%, y'all. It's up to $48 even, y'all. XLU is up almost 0.5% at 43.03. XLI is at break even at 163.94. XLB, our materials sector, is up almost 0.75% at 49.08. And XLRE is up almost 0.75% at 41.21, y'all. Okay, so when it comes to our 11 sectors of the market, the leader is XLE, y'all. Up over 2%. And the worst performing for right now, today, is technology. All right, let's check out some of our other tickers we like to cover on the show. Outside of our $1 trillion tickers, AMD. AMD is down over 2.25%, y'all. At 215.80. Bitcoin is back over 95,000, y'all. All my Bitcoin holders, you know it's been a struggle. It's been feeling like a baby crypto winter, y'all. They trying to bounce back, though. That thing definitely been consolidated for a long time. Let's see. IBIT. So I'm invested in IBIT. I'm not a direct investor in Bitcoin. Well, actually, I am. But let me tell you why. Well, let me tell you, first off, I didn't feel comfortable investing in Bitcoin because I know a couple millionaires that got their Bitcoin stolen. You know what I mean? They never got it back. So I'm like, oh, no, I'm not trying to mess with that. But I was like, let me take the safe route and let me just invest in IBIT. So IBIT is a Bitcoin ETF. So what I did was I allowed BlackRock to go take all the risk and buy all the Bitcoin. You know, BlackRock is one of the biggest investment managers in the world. And they have like, I think 10 trillion under management right now. So I'm going to let them take the risk and I'm going to just invest in their ETF, which is IBIT. But so I'm a Robinhood Gold member. So the last week of the year, they actually gave holiday presents to all the Robinhood Gold members. So what I did was, or what they did, they actually gave me a little bit of Bitcoin, a couple dollars worth, and they gave me a little bit of Solana, and they gave me a little bit of XRP. So now I actually do have a little bit of crypto in my Robinhood account, y'all. So salute to Robinhood for the free gifts. All right, back to the chart, y'all. Ethereum is back over 3,300. Ethereum is up to 3,330, y'all. BMNR been struggling with this baby crypto winter, y'all. For real. But that thing is moving today. It's up over 5%. Let's go, BMNR. Tom Lee, you up. You up over 5% today, man. Salute. Palantir is down over 1%, y'all. 177. I definitely want shares of Palantir. I gotta wait for a pullback, though. It's too close to the all-time high right now. Let me see where Palantir is at. Where's Palantir at, y'all? Oh, we already got the chart marked up on the daily. Let's see. Let's go to the all-time high. Let's pull it down. Where we at right now? 14% off, y'all. 14% off. That's a nice discount, y'all. But I do need a little bit more of a discount just because of how much it ran last year. Like, it ran so crazy last year that I feel like it could pull back even more. I like this 168 level right here. This 168 support is looking good, y'all. And what's looking even better is this 154. If we could get it down there, we could definitely drop a bag on Palantir, y'all. And then Robinhood. We were just talking about Robinhood. Let's see how much Robinhood is on discount right now, y'all. Robinhood is on discount 23%. Oh! Robinhood is on big discount right now, y'all. You know, I want it at 100, though. I want it at 100. Or this 102 level. Between 100 and 102, I think it's a lot of buyers down here, y'all. I want it at 100. Especially, it's not an A tier. It's not an A tier company, but it's definitely a B tier company. And I definitely see a lot of future with Robinhood. But I want a bigger discount. Which might make me miss out, but that's decisions we gotta make as investors, y'all. I want a bigger discount. All right, Grab is getting destroyed, y'all. Grab is down 2.5%. No, 2.25%, y'all. Grab is 468. Grab is definitely struggling. XLG. Oh, we got a baby gap. Oh, look, we got a baby gap from yesterday. Let's put that on the chart, y'all. We got the baby gap on XLG. And I really want this ETF, y'all. I really want this ETF. This ETF is the top 50 of the S&P 500, y'all. So the top 50 stocks. So the top 50 most valuable companies on the market, you can get exposure to them with this one ETF, y'all. But as you can see, I got the 5% off mark right here, so it's nowhere near enough discount. But once this thing pull back, I'm gonna drop a bag on that too. All right, let's get back to some news, y'all. While I'm reading the news, the display that I have here is on TradingView. This is my trading platform that I use. So in the top left-hand corner, we have NVIDIA. To the right, we have Apple, Google, Microsoft. Underneath NVIDIA, we have Amazon. To the right, we have TSM, AVGO, and Meta Platforms. So I'm going to leave that on the screen while I read some more news. This comes from Investment Wisdom on Twitter, y'all. Stocks are a safe bet, but only if you stay invested long enough to ride out the corrections. That is a quote from Peter Lynch, one of the legendary investors when it comes to the market, y'all. Stocks are a safe bet, but only if you stay invested long enough to ride out the corrections. So that means, yes, there will be corrections. Yes, there will be pullbacks. Yes, there will be market crashes. Yes, there will be recessions. But if you stay invested over the long term, the market will go back to all-time highs. It always has. And you will be profitable, especially if you're in an ETF. You know what I mean? Now, not all stocks recover, but the stocks of today, these trillion-dollar tickers, are not like the stocks of yesteryear, y'all. We got trillion-dollar companies, trillion-dollar tickers, y'all. We got a $4 trillion company. We got two $4 trillion companies right now, y'all. We got a $3 trillion company, several $2 trillion companies, and a lot of $1 trillion companies, y'all. Back in the 90s and the early 2000s, no, we didn't have none. We didn't have none, y'all. So this is a whole new market. These companies now, they got like 50, 100 companies that they've acquired that is underneath their wing. So they're spread out into all these different industries. It's not like back in the day where, ExxonMobil was just the top dog. You know what I mean? Top dog for like 5 years in a row, fell off and then came back. You know what I mean? And took over the crown again. That was just straight oil. But now, these big companies, oh no, they got a lot of companies under their wing. So this is a whole new market, y'all. Invest in the big dogs, and you're going to get that bag. All right, this next piece of news comes from Elon, talking about when he started SpaceX. Let's check it out, y'all.
There have been various attempts to do commercial rocket companies, and they all failed. So, again, with SpaceX, starting SpaceX was really from the standpoint of, like, I think there's like a less than 10% chance of being successful, maybe 1%, I don't know. But if a startup doesn't do something to advance rocket technology, it's definitely not coming from the big defense contractors, because they just impedance match to the government, and the government just wants to do very conventional things. So it's either coming from a startup or it's not happening at all. So like a small chance of success is better than no chance of success. And so SpaceX. I started that in mid 2002, expecting to fail. Like I said, probably 90% chance of failing. And even like when recruiting people, I didn't like try to, make out that it would. Well, I said we're probably going to die, but full chance we might not die. And but this is the only way to get people to Mars and advance the state of the art. And then I ended up being chief engineer of the rocket. Not because I wanted to, but because I couldn't hire anyone who was good. So, like, none of the good sort of chief engineers would join, because they're like, this is too risky, you're going to die. And so then I ended up being chief engineer of the rocket. And, the first 3 flights did fail, so it's a bit of a learning exercise there. And fourth one fortunately worked. But if the fourth one hadn't worked, I had no money left, and it would have been curtains. So it was a pretty close thing. If the fourth launch of Falcon not worked, it would have been just curtains, and we would have just joined the graveyard of prior rocket startups. So like my estimate of success was not far off. We made it by the skin of our teeth.
Y'all hear that? He said when he created this company, there was a 90% chance of failure. And he still took the risk, y'all. And now, SpaceX is scheduled to IPO around $1 trillion market cap, y'all. So, it might look like a low chance of winning, but sometimes you got to take that chance, y'all. And the outcome can be phenomenal. Now, this is starting a business. Let me put that into frame as well. This is starting a business. This is not any type of risk. This is starting a business. He joined an industry where people who were making rockets, all the companies just kept on failing and failing. But he's like, man, we still gonna do it. And he's trying to get to Mars. Oh yeah, speaking of getting to Mars, I seen this other piece of news from NASA, right? So it says NASA announced that America will be able to return to the moon this year. The flight will be called Artemis 2. Could take flight as early as February 6th, according to the Daily Mail. NASA's new administrator said there could be infrastructure on the moon in the future. Within the next 3 years, we're going to land American astronauts again on the moon, but this time with the infrastructure to stay. However, they won't land on the surface of the moon. The first lunar landing, which will be called Artemis 3, is planned in 2027. I got a quick clip, y'all.
With China to the moon.
The new space race, it's here. And the United States, Russia, and China are the clear front runners. But how soon could we actually make another lunar landing? And can we beat everyone else? Competition really ramped up over the summer when the acting NASA administrator, Sean Duffy, announced that the United States wants to be the first to put a nuclear reactor on the moon.
To have a base on the moon, we need energy.
And several days ago, in an interview with a popular YouTuber, Duffy strongly suggested that NASA will launch a lunar flyby as early as February 2026. That's 2 months sooner than the scheduled launch date listed on NASA's website for the Artemis 2 mission of April 2026. So why the hurry? Haven't we been to the moon 6 times already? It's true, we have. But never to do something like plant a continuous power source, aka nuclear reactor up there. And earlier this year, China and Russia said they're teaming up to do it by 2036. The fear is if they beat us, they could...
2036? Man, they talk about it in 10 years. Man, y'all better speed that up. Oh, we gonna win. We definitely gonna win. China and Russia talking about, yeah, we gonna be there in 10 years. America talking about we finna be there this year. Man, y'all might as well not even do it. Nah, I'm just playing. All right. Next piece of news comes about Meta. So Meta is set to implement a new round of layoffs in early 2026, primarily targeting its Reality Labs division, which is responsible for VR and AR hardware and Meta projects. This move marks a significant strategic retreat from the metaverse vision that Zuckerberg has been heavily promoting since 2014. The company plans to reduce the Reality Labs workforce by 10%, affecting over 1,000 jobs, y'all. Meta is shifting its focus from the metaverse products to wearable devices, particularly AI smart glasses. The company's metaverse projects have been experiencing substantial financial losses, with Reality Labs accumulating operational losses exceeding $70 billion since 2021. Wow. In the third quarter of 2025 alone, the division reported a loss of $4 billion. Yeah, that's probably why Meta has been struggling a lot to bounce back, man. What does Meta gotta do? Man? They gotta improve these products, y'all. Oh yeah, let's check out Meta on a daily. So remember, we had this consolidation area here, but Meta is sinking, y'all. Meta is sinking. It's looking very bad for Meta right now. They did end up breaking to the downside from this consolidation. I do have a diagonal trend line here at around 600. Right now it's at 620. And then I do have this weekly level here at 594. So hopefully we'll get a bounce on Meta right there, but it's definitely struggling, y'all. All right, let's check out some more news. What do we got? Actress Olivia Wilde sells the LA home for a loss of $5.2 million. So even if you're rich, you can still lose a lot of money So that shows you real estate ain't everything, y'all. This lady bought a house in LA and she sold it for a loss of $5 million, y'all. That hurts. That hurts. Ooh. I guess she really had to sell it. She couldn't hold out. Damn. $5 million? Yeah, that hurts. All right, this next piece of news comes from Market Watch. Saks Global, owner of Saks Fifth Avenue and Neiman Marcus, filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy today, y'all. After a $2.7 billion debt-fueled acquisition strained cash flow amid vendor payment issues and inventory disruptions. So they tried to acquire a company for $2.7 billion and it didn't work out, and now they're filing for bankruptcy, y'all. If you were that, if you didn't think that if you acquired this company and it went wrong that you will be filing for bankruptcy. So they took on too much risk, too much debt than the company can handle, and now they are filing for bankruptcy, y'all. It says the filing stems from broader luxury retail woes, including middle-income consumers trading down due to rising costs and double-digit price hikes, plus brands increasingly bypassing department stores for direct-to-consumer models. Potential ripples include accelerated store closures, heightened skepticism toward wholesale partnerships, and opportunities for emerging brands to capture aspirational customers spending $5K to $25K annually on alternatives to traditional luxury. Damn, people were spending 5 to 25 bands a year at this store, y'all. They need to be putting that shit into the market. Man, are you crazy? 5 to 25 bands? If you don't put that shit in the market and stop playing. Alright, this next piece of news comes from Elon Musk. Tesla will stop selling FSD next month, y'all. In 30 days, Tesla will stop selling FSD. What is FSD? Full self-driving. It will only be available with a monthly subscription. That monthly subscription is normally $99, but recently I had seen it was $112. But it's really good. Like, it's basically like having a chauffeur for $100. You know what I mean? Especially with how good FSD has been getting with these latest updates. It's like having a chauffeur for $100 to drive you wherever you want. You know what I mean? The only downside is sometimes it does drive pretty slow. Like, it doesn't go crazy over the speed limit. But outside of that, it's dope, man. It's dope. All right, this next piece of news comes from Reuters Business. It's about China. Check it out, y'all.
China on Wednesday posted a record trade surplus of almost $1.2 trillion in 2025. Chinese policymakers' push to diversify beyond the US paid off as exports to non-US markets boomed. Producers have tried to build global scale and fight off trade pressure from the Trump administration. They have shifted focus to Southeast Asia, Africa, and Latin America, and that helped cushion the economy against US tariffs and tensions with Washington. There will be more challenges for Beijing heading into this year. That as global capitals have grown more worried about China's trade practices and overcapacity. But a customs official announced Wednesday that China's foreign trade remains solid. They added its ability to deal with risks has been significantly enhanced. Its December exports grew 6.6% year-on-year, beating forecasts and up from November's number. Imports were up 5.7%. Economists expect China to continue gaining global market share this year. bolstered by Chinese firms setting up overseas production hubs to combat US and EU tariffs, as well as strong demand for lower-grade chips and other electronics.
So China reported a record trade surplus, nearly 1.2 trillion in 2025. So even though Trump hit China with them crazy tariffs, China was still able to get the bag, y'all. They were still able to get the bag. They had a pivot. You know, sometimes you gotta pivot, man. They like, all right, y'all tripping on these tariffs? All right, we finna move the product to Africa. We finna move it to other parts of Asia, and we not gonna fold to the U.S. That's what China did, and they ran the bag up to record highs, y'all. Record trade surplus. Shout out China, man. All right, let's check out our $1 trillion tickers, y'all. Let's see where we at. NVIDIA. Ooh, NVIDIA getting hit today. Oh, looks like NVIDIA has closed the gap, y'all. There was a gap to the downside. Okay. Also, look at this potential bull flag, y'all. So NVIDIA needs to bounce. If NVIDIA breaks this bottom of the bull flag, y'all, it looks like this bull flag is not happening. But I'm going to go ahead and delete this gap because the gap has been filled today, y'all, to the downside. And you know, February is normally a down month for the market, especially big tech. So is this the beginning of the February fall? I don't know. We'll see, y'all. But NVIDIA is down crazy today, y'all. Down 2.5%. Let's check out Apple, y'all. Apple is trying to find some support here around this area. This 261. Oh, Apple bounced on the gap. Apple bounced on the gap on Thursday, and it looks like it's finding some support here. But it also may be a bear flag in the making. We'll have to see. But Apple is down 0.5% at 259.87. Google is down over 1%. It did hit all-time highs yesterday. It's down over 1% at 332.21. Microsoft is struggling, y'all. Look at this. Look at this consolidation. And Microsoft has broke underneath the consolidation as well, y'all. We had this consolidation area, y'all. And Microsoft has broken underneath. Just like Meta, y'all. Just like Meta, Microsoft has broken down. It's on deep discount too right now. If you wanna buy one of the most valuable companies in the world on deep discount, you can do it right now. Let's check out the info line. 16% off, y'all. 16% off on Microsoft. Let's check out Amazon. Amazon has pulled back, y'all. It has pulled back to our support, which was previous resistance. It might be time to get into those Amazon leaps. We are back. So let's see over the next couple of days if Amazon can build some support right here. If this previous resistance, which was also a previous all-time high here, you can see previous resistance. If it turns into support, then if we can build a base right here and we can head back to the upside, then it might be time to get into these Amazon leaps, y'all. Okay, let's check out TSM. TSM hit all-time highs yesterday too. A little baby gap right here. Little baby gap, y'all. But a gap is a gap is a gap. Let's go ahead and put it on the chart. All right, AVGO. Oh, AVGO. Super red day. Down over 4%, y'all. AVGO down over 4%, y'all. Woo. That thing is back underneath the resistance level, y'all. It is back underneath. So we needed a bounce on this resistance, but it did not bounce, y'all. But we do have a weekly level right here. So let's see if we can catch some support right here. If not, it looks like it is headed into this gap right here, y'all. Remember this gap from way back here? Remember this gap from the September earnings gap up? We are headed right back there. We did come into this gap a couple times, a few times actually, but it looks like we are headed back there, y'all. It looks like this may be a potential bear flag, with this being the pole. And this being the flag, y'all. I see that. This thing is coming. It's coming down, y'all. But it may bounce, because at the bottom of this flag, we have the gap, which price likes to bounce on the gap like it did right here on Thursday the 8th. And we do have our diagonal trend line here as well. So we'll see. Meta. Oh man, Meta, terrible. We already talked about Meta. Tesla is still in this consolidation zone from last year, y'all. So if it doesn't, it's like right in the middle. So I'm not even tripping on. I wouldn't. Yeah, it's like right in the middle. So to the upside. To the upside, I got to break this 455 to the upside. And then to the downside, if it doesn't find support here at 424, then I expect it to go down to this 413, y'all. All right, Berkshire. But this is the daily chart, y'all. This is the daily chart. Berkshire. A lot of consolidation here, so a lot of consolidation. It ain't been doing nothing over the past month. The VIX, okay, the VIX, it's under 17, y'all. All right, let's check out. Let's see if we have any. Oh, let's check out the heat map. Check out the heat map, y'all. Okay, I see a lot of red in technology, y'all. I see a lot of red in technology. Oh, man. Damn, what is this? App 11 is down 7%. Yeah. Oracle down 2.5%. AVGO. Oh, man. Technology is getting hit today, y'all. Technology is getting hit bad. Where's the green at? Energy. Here's where the green is at. Energy making bread. ExxonMobil, Chevron, broke up over 2%, y'all. Energy making a bag, but yeah, technology is getting hit. All right, let's see if we have any trades for our day traders, y'all. Okay, it's 7:15 right now. So I have this 4-quadrant display here. So at the top, this is for the day traders. I have the 4-minute chart and the 10-minute chart. And then at the bottom, I have the 1-hour chart and the 4-hour chart. So let's check on SPY first. See what we got. If we got any trades. So on the 4-minute chart, SPY has a buy. Let's see. Let's see if it closes. Yep. SPY has a buy on the 4-minute chart. Entry point is 690.41. with a take profit of 691.56 and a stop loss of 689.26, y'all. On the 10-minute chart, it still has 3.5 minutes before this candle closes, so this buy signal may go away on the 10-minute chart, y'all. So I wouldn't get into it just yet. All right, QQQ. See what we got. QQQ also had a buy on a 4-minute with the entry of 620.62. Take profit 622.26 and a stop loss of 619, y'all. And it also has the buy signal on the 10-minute, but you still have 3 more minutes before this candle closes, y'all. All right, Apple. Let's see Apple, y'all. No recent signals. Let's check out AVGO. Oh man, this thing is so rare. They had a sell signal in the pre-market, and that thing been falling all day. I usually don't take pre-market signals, but yeah, all the AVGO signals were pre-market. Amazon. Let's see what we got. Potential buy signal here on Amazon on the 4-minute. You do have to wait 2 more minutes before this candle closes. So we'll have to come back to that. On the 10-minute as well, y'all, on Amazon. But you got to wait 2 more minutes to see if that signal stays or goes away. Google. It had a buy, but it does have a close signal here. So I recommend waiting for this 10-minute buy signal. And you have to wait 1 more minute before this candle to close. And we'll see if this buy signal is still here. Though we do see some resistance right here. But we'll see, y'all. We'll see. Meta had the sell signal in the pre-market. The pre-market sales have been hitting today, y'all. The pre-market sales have been hitting. Microsoft, potential buy on a 4-minute went away. Nope. Pull back. Nope. No signals. Yeah. Yeah, it's too red, y'all. It's too red. Ain't nothing but downside on big tech. Ain't nothing but downside on the $1 trillion tickers outside of Berkshire. Yeah, I wouldn't do it, y'all. I wouldn't do it. Look at AMD. Okay, AMD. AMD turned positive on the day, y'all. How did they do it when the rest of tech is getting clapped? I don't know. But salute AMD, man. Turn positive. That thing ran crazy yesterday, huh? Oh yeah. All right. I'm gonna run these numbers and then we are done for the day, y'all. We are done for the day. Okay, so the VIX hit my level right here at 1795 and rejected. That's why we had the little pop on all them companies. On the SPY and the Qs and the tech companies, we had seen that little pop that some potential buys was because you see the VIX came up and hit my level right here. And then it rejected. So shout out to my level for being correct. All right. Let me run these numbers one more time. Do we got any more news? Oh yeah. Let me read this news right quick. This is from Wall Street Journal Business News. The Make America Healthy Again movement, Ozempic, fibermaxing, powerful forces behind America's food industry to make what could be the biggest overhaul in decades to supermarket shelves, y'all. So basically, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is leading the way. He's driving shifts away from seed oils toward beef tallow and full-fat dairy, with new guidelines boosting whole milk sales by 5% in volume over the past year. Ozempic's popularity surges protein demand, leading to fortified cereals like Cheerios Protein, while fibermaxing expands high-fiber options. These changes, alongside bans on artificial dyes and high-fructose corn syrup, may rise grocery prices by 2.4% annually, according to the Labor Department figures. Well, that is okay. If it raises the prices but it makes it healthier, I'm all for it. Because what's the point of having money if you're not healthy, y'all? All right. So we did see Trump was talking about we finna sell these chips to China, these NVIDIA H200s, and then China came out and said, no, those chips are not permitted to be sold in China. So that's probably why NVIDIA is down today almost 2%. Because first, Trump was like, yeah, it's good, we can sell them over there. And then China's like, nah, no, you ain't. You thought you was, but you ain't. All right, this next piece of news comes from, it's about Iran. The regime has attempted to cut off internet access to the outside world, but pictures and videos are still emerging, with activists trying to get information out of Iran to help galvanize the protests. The Financial Times says Iranian activists use VPNs and smuggled footage to bypass nationwide internet shutdown imposed this month, which interrupted over economic collapse and have drawn global scrutiny. Accompanying this image depicts a dramatic drop in internet traffic alongside a protester holding a phone, symbolizing the regime's digital clampdown versus citizens' fight to connect and document abuses, with death tolls exceeding 2,500 per activist reports. Protests now in their third week stemmed from hyperinflation and subsidy cuts, involving into anti-regime chants. U.S. President Trump's public condemnation has heightened fears of external intervention. Damn. Man. Salute. Damn, that's crazy, man. That's cold-blooded what's going on in Iran. Man. Is it true? Or is Trump trying to get over there and do what they did in Venezuela? I don't know. I'll let y'all decide on that. Okay, some of the tickers that had earnings this morning pre-market. Bank of America beat on the top and bottom. Citibank, it missed on earnings, but it beat on revenue. Wells Fargo missed on earnings, but it beat on revenue, y'all. So, yeah, I think that's about it, y'all, for the news. I think I had some more Instagram things to play, y'all. A little bit of motivation. Let's check it out, y'all.
Damn, bro. What you gonna do with all that money?
Make more money.
Okay, and with that money?
Make more money.
And with that money?
Make more money.
We're just gonna get to that money, y'all. We're gonna get to that bag.
So we believe legacy, right? That word means so much. We believe it begins with information. What we know determines what we can build. For far too long, our communities weren't given access to financial education, the kind that turns ideas into assets and dreams into sustainable pathways. At Earn Your Leisure, our goal has always been simple: democratize knowledge. When people understand entrepreneurship, investing, ownership, and wealth building, they can change their lives and their children's lives. Legacy isn't luck, it's learning. And we're committed to teaching the tools that open doors and keep them open.
Salute to them brothers at Earn Your Leisure. I definitely learned a lot from them. Let's get it. Next clip.
See, my top plays happened in practice when no one was looking. My top plays happened in Fort Myers, Florida, when none of you knew anything about me. My top plays happened when there was no camera there. See, those are the plays you just caught on camera. Those weren't my top plays because I practiced like I played, so when I played, it would be practice.
Talk that talk. That, you know who that is. That's Prime Time. I know you know that voice. Oh, I thought this was pretty dope. Check it out, y'all. But that was real game from Prime Time. Let me let that sit right quick. What'd he say? I practiced like I played, so when I played, it was like practice. That's tough. That is tough, y'all. I thought this was dope too. Check it out.
Advisor in one. Marshawn Lynch says he put a jeweler and a financial advisor in one room, told rookies to match chains with investments. Years later, one call proved him right.
There was a point in time where I brought in a financial advisor and I brought in a jeweler. Had them in the same room, all the young guys coming in. And it's only right. A lot of them went straight to the jeweler. Was in there doing their thing, making moves. How much you said you about to spend? I'm about to spend X, Y, Z. All right, well, cool. Go and put the same amount that you're going to put in on this jewelry. Go over there to that financial advisor and go drop the same bag. Oh, gee, you tripping. Like, nah, I ain't tripping. But what's going to happen is if you going to spend with this, then you're going to go put some money over there at the financial advisor. So I tell the jeweler, hey, dog, if they don't show you that they put some money in with the financial advisor, then it's bad. Yeah. And what's crazy is you called me maybe like 3-4 years ago and you hit me with the, hey, did you get that email? I don't know if you remember, you made me put some money in this investment.
That's dope.
Just paid off 10x, but thank you. I'm like, I'm driving. I pulled over.
Smart discipline.
Ooh, salute beast mode. We need more brothers like that dropping that game to the youngsters, man. He said that thing 10x, y'all. That thing 10x. That's 1,000% profits, y'all. 1,000% profits. Salute beast mode. You know how we like to end the show, y'all. Neighborhood Nip.
It don't happen overnight. And there's going to be moments when it's really, really frustrating. And there's going to be moments when it's really, really inspiring and empowering. And if you get too high off the highs and too low off the lows, you're going to take yourself on a ride that's very uncomfortable. I think it's just about being committed to the work. Appreciating it, when it's good and not stressing too bad when it's bad. Just appreciating the work and staying focused on showing up every day.
That's it, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Trading Dollar Tickers. We'll be back tomorrow. We do this show every morning, y'all. Pre-market, market open. We're here to get the money from the stock market. We're here to break the news, what's going on with the Trading Dollar Tickers. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Salute everybody on YouTube Live and Instagram Live. Let's get this bread. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom.